There's a very specific kind of exhaustion. It is quiet. It settles over you heavily. You stand in the center of your own home, completely paralyzed, realizing you have no idea where to begin. Your eyes drift to the pile of clothes on the bedroom chair. That chair ceased being a place to sit months ago. You notice stacks of unopened mail taking over the kitchen counter and random objects pushed to the far edges of your desk. You realize you never clean your house. Society has a quick diagnosis for this. People call it laziness. They call it a lack of discipline. They assume the person living inside the chaos simply does not care. But consider a different perspective. What if we stopped looking at a perpetually cluttered space as a failure of character and started seeing it for what it truly is? A real-time physical mirror of the mind. Once you understand the hidden psychology of a messy room, you will never judge a disorganized house the exact same way again. The inability to clean is rarely a lack of effort. Often, it is a symptom of cognitive overload. Living in a cluttered space does not usually feel good. Clutter chips away at your well-being. It acts as a constant, low-grade stressor. Your nervous system registers that chaotic environment and perceives it as a persistent threat. Studies show that individuals who describe their homes as cluttered often have elevated cortisol levels. Cortisol indicates chronic stress. This means you're living inside a punishing paradox. People in disorganized households experience higher stress, reduced focus, and emotional exhaustion. Yet, this exact exhaustion makes it physically impossible to take action. You cannot summon the energy to clean the space that is draining your energy. You are trapped in a biological loop. For many people, the root of this paralysis is known as executive dysfunction. Executive functions are the crucial cognitive skills that allow us to plan actions, initiate tasks, and see them through. When these skills falter, keeping a home organized becomes incredibly difficult. This is especially true for those with ADHD. For many people with ADHD, low-reward repetitive tasks feel difficult to start. When you struggle with inattention, impulsivity, and poor time estimation, the simple act of decluttering feels like climbing a mountain without a rope. Your brain resists the task because it is understimulated. Imagine the scenario. You pick up a stray shirt and carry it toward the closet. On the way, you notice a book that belongs on the shelf. You take the book to the living room, but there you find a dirty coffee mug. Suddenly, you are at the sink washing dishes while still holding a pair of socks, having forgotten about the shirt. This happens because of working memory deficits. The brain drops the previous thought to grab the new one. As a result, clutter accumulates. Every object screams for your attention at the exact same volume. When the brain cannot prioritize the noise, it simply shuts down. Then there is the heavy gravity of depression, carrying a specific set of invisible burdens. Low energy, a lack of interest, deep feelings of helplessness. When you carry that psychological weight, basic self-care tasks feel insurmountable. Washing a single dish feels too hard. Folding a towel takes too much effort. Sorting through mail is out of the question. The mess becomes a physical manifestation of your internal state. It mirrors how empty you feel inside. Looking at the chaos simply reinforces a dark belief that you are failing at life. There is another hidden reason people avoid cleaning, driven by the sheer terror of making a decision. By the time you get home, your brain may already feel drained by countless small decisions. Everyday clutter is essentially a physical accumulation of unmade choices. Every piece of paper on the counter requires an answer. Every nostalgic ticket stub demands a verdict. Every unworn sweater poses a question. Do I keep this? Where does it go? What if I need it later? For people struggling with decisional procrastination, it is always easier to set the item down. You promise to decide later because your brain lacks the energy to make one more choice. That pile of mail is simply a monument of postponed choices. Have you wondered why nagging someone to clean backfires? Why being shamed or criticized only makes the mess worse? There is a psychological concept known as psychological reactance. It is our human instinct to resist a perceived loss of autonomy. When cleaning is externally imposed, people feel controlled. If a partner demands it, they dig their heels in. It feels like a demand rather than a personal choice. But when you internalize the value of a tidy environment for your own peace of mind, everything shifts. You reclaim your power. We must draw a firm line here. A chronically messy room is one thing. Hoarding disorder is a clinical condition. Everyday clutter is an accumulation of varied items driven by fatigue or indecision. Hoarding involves extreme psychological distress when items are removed. It is a deeply complex emotional experience that impairs a person's quality of life. But everyday chaos does have real consequences, particularly for developing brains. When a house is full of visual noise and constant disorganization, it impacts a child's cognitive development. Kids growing up in highly chaotic environments often have a harder time controlling impulses. They struggle to switch focus from one task to another. Studies have shown that living in a chronically messy home can make it harder for kids to think clearly and regulate emotions. The mess also strains family relationships, leading to frequent arguments. The physical space you inhabit can influence how a developing brain learns to manage attention, emotion, and stress. Before judging yourself too harshly, there is a twist. Messy environments are not universally bad. Humans are deeply complex, and our spaces reflect that. One experiment placed participants in either a tidy or a messy room, asking them to find new uses for everyday objects. The people in the messy room generated significantly more creative ideas. This suggests something incredible. Messy environments can prime the brain for creative thinking and break conventional patterns. Sometimes disorder frees the mind from rigid expectations. A messy space might just be a creative incubator. So, where does this leave you? You might be sitting in a room right now, surrounded by the physical evidence of your own exhaustion. Let it leave you with this important truth. You are not broken. Your mess is merely a symptom. It reflects an overwhelmed nervous system, a taxed working memory, or a depleted emotional reserve. But there is profound hope hidden in the act of tidying. Studies demonstrate that a few minutes of cleaning after a stressful event reduces anxiety. If you never clean your house, do not do it to become a good person. A clean house does not dictate your worth. Do it to reclaim your own space. Do it to soothe your own nervous system. You can start incredibly small. Make one single decision today. Forgive yourself for the mess around you. For a long time, it kept you safe. It held you when you were simply too tired to function. But your energy will eventually return. When you are finally ready, remember that clearing your physical space is a compassionate way to begin clearing your mind. If you recognize yourself in this, tell me which part resonated most in the comments. Subscribe for more everyday psychology and click the video on screen to uncover more hidden truths about your mind. Stay curious.